The truth is harsh, but it needs to be said. Most men fail with women not because they lack looks, money, or muscles, but because they don't know what to ask. They ask boring, predictable, soulless questions. So, what do you do for work? What are your hobbies? Really? That's the emotional equivalent of a wet handshake. And predictable, my friend, doesn't spark desire. It kills it. You want her to want you? Then you need to go where that desire is born, the subconscious. And you do that with words, but not just any words. These are provocative questions, crafted to hit where she least expects, awaken hidden emotions, stir sexual tension without being vulgar, and make her think about you. Even after you're gone. The best part? No chasing, no neediness, no games. In this video, you'll discover 7 psychological questions, all based on feminine psychology, that work as emotional shortcuts. These are real tools for emotional attraction, no cheesy pickup lines or canned phrases. Each one has a mission: to connect, to spark curiosity, to ignite imagination, and to create a kind of masculine magnetism that she simply can't ignore. But pay close attention. If you watch this video halfway, you'll think you got it. But you won't be able to use it, because each question connects to the next. Together, they form a strategic emotional map that leads straight to desire. Yes, this is advanced. That's why almost no one teaches it. Stick with me till the end and learn how to flip the script with class, presence, and assertive communication. No need to be the best-looking guy in the room. Now let's start with a question that seems simple, but can spark a fire she didn't even know was there. 1. The question that ignites hidden emotional desire. There's a question that touches the most intimate part of a woman, not her body, but her mind. When a man, using assertive communication, asks her, "What's the most unexpected thing that ever made you feel truly alive?" he's not just making small talk. He's opening a secret door. That kind of question triggers emotional memories, unresolved desires, and feminine curiosity in a hypnotic way. This isn't cheap seduction talk. This is high-level social intelligence. As she searches for her answer, her brain naturally begins to associate that feeling with the man who asked the question. That's when masculine magnetism kicks in, not physical, but emotional presence. Men who know how to ask this way don't just have a conversation, they create an experience. This is the secret of those who master the psychological game with authentic self-expression. They don't memorize lines. They trigger something inside her. Many men think they have to be funny or flashy to attract a woman. But what really moves the needle is emotional attraction. When she feels emotionally activated, even if she doesn't fully realize it, she starts seeing that man differently. She begins to feel a kind of sexual tension that wasn't born from touch, but from thought, and that tension becomes presence. She starts thinking about him, even after he's gone. Want a practical example? Next time you're in a conversation, instead of asking, "What do you do for a living?" try something like, "Is there a moment in your life you wish you could relive, just to feel it again?" Watch her eyes, watch the subtle smile. Watch the reflective silence, that subconscious activation. And that, my friend, sticks in her memory. Few men do this because few men understand feminine psychology deeply. They'd rather play the clown or toss around corny lines. But the man who understands that provocative questions are invisible seduction weapons, he stands out. He breaks the pattern. And when she feels that, she slips into a state that brings us to something even more powerful you're about to learn next. Time to go deeper. Watch how one question can open her up and invite you in. Point 2. The question that makes her emotionally undress. Some women use words as shields. Others use silence. But every woman carries something inside. She's dying to share if someone knows how to reach it. The question, "Is there something about you no one ever notices but you wish someone would?" isn't just poetic. It disarms her. This is one of the most powerful provocative questions when you truly understand feminine psychology. When she answers, it's not you speaking with her. It's her speaking with herself, and that changes everything. She starts to feel she can trust, that there's a deep connection here, that this is a man with verbal command, not just someone trying to impress. It activates something rare. She feels seen, and being seen is being touched in the heart. Most men never get there. They stay stuck in shallow chatter, basic compliments, and a fear of going deeper. But the man who understands body language, who listens with his eyes and silence, he's on another level. And when she sees that he doesn't judge, but listens with genuine interest, unconscious desire begins to surface. She feels emotionally undressed and safe. Want a real-world example? In a relaxed setting, look into her eyes and ask, "Have you ever felt like no one truly understood you?" Then shut up. Don't rush to fill the silence. Just listen. That silence is where subtle seduction lives. The right pause is worth more than 1,000 clumsy words. The beauty of this approach is showing her that your interest goes far beyond the physical. And ironically, that's what sparks a much deeper kind of sexual tension, a desire that grows quietly, without her even realizing. But that brings us to another question, one that might awaken some intense memories you didn't expect. Now, it's time to stir her senses and her imagination. This next question may make her see you as the main character in her most hidden desires. 3. The question that awakens forbidden desire. There's an invisible line between what is said and what is secretly desired. And when a man crosses that line with elegance, he becomes unforgettable. The question, have you ever wanted something you knew you couldn't have, but still craved it with every part of you? Activates what psychologists call the liminal zone. That's where masculine mystery lives, and so does secret pleasure. This is feminine psychology executed. With near surgical precision, she might hesitate, maybe smile shyly, maybe say yes with eyes that hide the real story. Don't push here, don't dig, just observe. What's happening in that moment is subconscious activation, the seed of desire being watered by her own mind. This is psychological gameplay, not manipulation. It's about creating tension without invasion, touching without touching. Here's where most men fail. They turn her answer into a chance to brag, joke, or flex. But the man with social intelligence responds with calm presence. He knows less is more. He listens and lets her set the pace. And that's where masculine magnetism grows. Because he doesn't try to take, he allows her to offer. Want to use this for real? Ask her during an intimate, non-sexual moment. Maybe a quiet dinner, a night walk, or a deep late-night chat. Drop it casually. Have you ever wanted something? Or someone ... you knew you couldn't have. And smile, just a little. She may laugh it off. She may dodge it, but inside, something's been lit. And when that happens, you awaken the most intense kind of emotional attraction. The kind that grows quietly in the mind. And here's a quick pause. If this kind of content is already opening your eyes to things you never noticed before, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, because this is just the beginning. Let's keep going. Now we're stepping into a more delicate layer of her psyche. This next question has the power to reveal hidden wounds and create connection through them. 4. The question that touches where it hurts and connects where it matters. Every woman carries a story that shaped who she is, one she rarely tells anyone. When a man asks, "What's the quietest pain you've learned to hide too well?" he's not being intrusive. He's offering space. A space built through assertive communication, where pain isn't weakness, it's simply human. That's strategic validation. That's emotional maturity. This question only works with respect. And it only works if asked gently, without pressure or demand. The man who masters this is working through authentic self-expression. He's not trying to be her therapist. He's being the man she feels safe enough with to let the mask fall. And when that happens, a deep connection is born. Attraction shifts from physical to emotional. By lightly touching that hidden wound, even indirectly, the man triggers what's rarest, real trust. And for a woman, trust is an aphrodisiac, because emotional safety gives rise to unconscious desire. She begins to see this man as someone who won't judge her, someone who listens, someone who embraces. This raises the sexual tension, not through excitement, but through surrender. How to apply this? Don't toss this question out of nowhere. Wait for a moment of true emotional exchange. When the atmosphere feels intimate, gently ask, "Is there an old pain you carry that no one would ever suspect?" And then just listen. Don't fix, don't interrupt. That's where subtle seduction happens. This is how you create emotional presence. After that moment, something shifts. Because when she feels she can show her darkness and still be desired, the game changes. But the next step? That goes even deeper. It's when she starts imagining a future with you in it. Now it's time to activate her imagination. This next question makes her project you into her future, and that's more powerful than any compliment. 5. the question that projects desire into the future. When a man asks, if you could relive a perfect moment with someone, what would it be like? He's not just fishing for stories. He's activating the most sensory, emotional part of her mind. This is one of the most potent provocative questions because it blends body language, feeling, and memory. It's like planting a vivid emotional image where you slowly become the lead character. She starts painting the scene, the setting, the sounds, the emotions, maybe even what she'd wear. And as she does, her brain makes an interesting move. It begins to associate those feelings with the man who asked. That's when masculine magnetism stops being theory and becomes embedded memory. And she hasn't even realized yet that the psychological game is already in motion. This question works best in relaxed settings, after dinner, during a drive, or in a quiet pause. Don't push for depth. Let her go there naturally. The man who knows this shows social intelligence by not steering the answer, but holding the space. The more vivid her answer, the deeper the emotional imprint. Want a real example? If she starts describing a sunset on a quiet beach with laughter, wine, and music, she's revealing what she truly longs to feel. And by sharing that with you, even unconsciously, she's saying, I want to live this with someone like you. That's the power of unconscious desire, activated through ease and emotional presence. This technique isn't about selling fantasy, it's about inviting her to co-create one. And when that imagined moment nourishes her emotionally, it replays in her mind, but what's coming next? That goes even deeper. It's when you awaken a protective instinct in her that she didn't even know existed. Now we're going to explore a rarely tapped side of her. This question sparks a desire women often hide, even from themselves. 6. The question that awakens her instinct to care. There's a quiet force within a woman. The desire to feel essential to someone, not out of neediness, but emotional purpose. When a man asks, what's something only you know how to do for someone, something no one else could do the same way? He's not just complimenting her. He's triggering the feminine instinct to protect and nurture. This goes straight into the core of feminine psychology, where being seen as irreplaceable brings real pleasure. As she answers, she's not just sharing something she's good at. She's connecting with a part of herself that wants to matter, to be meaningful, to leave a mark. And if the man responds with strategic validation, affirming her value with sincerity, she starts to see him as someone worthy of her most intimate self. That's emotional attraction that has nothing to do with looks or status. It's all about perception. This question is perfect for creating deep connection because it blends vulnerability with self-pride. The man who gets this and knows how to use assertive communication in a gentle, present way opens a door most never even notice. And once that door opens, unconscious desire transforms into something deeper, a desire to give. What a real-world tip. Ask this after she shares something kind she did for someone, maybe a small act of care. Then say, you know what I'm curious about? What's that one thing only you know how to do, something no one else does quite like you? Watch her reaction. Her body language will tell you everything. A shy smile, a glow in her eyes, a softening of her shoulders. That's subtle seduction through admiration. Now that you've seen how to awaken this protective instinct in her, one last key remains, a final question. One that ties everything together and makes her secretly hope that you're the one who truly sees her. This is the question that ties all the others together. With it, you plant the irresistible thought, why does he understand me so well? 7. The question that makes her think, why can't I stop thinking about him? Few things are more powerful than making a woman think about you when you're not around. And there's one question that does exactly that. If someone wrote a book about your life, what part of your story would people never believe actually happened? This question doesn't just stir unconscious desire. It taps into her need to be read, understood, and discovered. This is pure subconscious activation, wrapped in masculine mystery. It invites her to share the realest, most intense parts of her story, her battles, her contrast, her chaos. And as she tells them, she starts to feel, he's really trying to understand me. And that creates emotional attraction on a level far beyond the surface. Men who use questions like this show high social intelligence because they step out of the cliché and into the zone of deep emotional impact. Here's what's fascinating. As she tells her story, she draws you into it. You're no longer an outsider, you've become part of the narrative. The psychological game now plays out in her own mind. Why did I tell him that? Why did I trust him so easily? Why do I feel so much? And that, right there, is the magic of masculine magnetism, the quiet power to leave a mark without forcing it. Want to apply this? When she's sharing a meaningful memory, wait until the moment feels full. Then gently say, if your life were a book, what chapter would be so wild no one would believe it really happened? Then just let the moment breathe. Her body language will open, her eyes will search for yours, and that's where real connection happens. Naturally. And when the day ends, when she's back home alone, it's that question that will echo in her mind. Because you didn't just make her think, you made her feel. And that's what separates the average man from the one she misses. Now that you have these 7 questions in your hands, the game has changed. While most guys are stuck on autopilot, asking the same lifeless questions expecting different results, you now hold the emotional map of feminine desire. The choice is yours. Will you let this be just another video? Or will you apply it and watch the way her eyes change when she looks at you? Which of these questions did you picture yourself asking? Which one made you go, man, if I had done this before? Tell me in the comments. And if you're serious about becoming the kind of man who speaks with intention, type this in. Now I know what to ask. I want to see who's truly ready to break out of the average. If you've stayed with me till now, thank you, truly. That tells me you're committed to your evolution and to the kind of assertive communication that doesn't just attract. It builds deep connection that lasts. So here's what to do now. Like the video, send it to a friend who keeps getting ignored on WhatsApp. Subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on becoming the kind of man who's magnetic, confident, and emotionally respected. I'll see you in the next one.